welcome back to another Tip Tuesday with Charles. Today I'm here all alone, but we will be going over something somewhat brief, so I think I can handle it. Today we'll be talking about employee groups. So obviously the first thing you want to do to use employee groups is to set them up. So if you go to your add edit list and drop down here to employee groups, we'll get to the employee group screen here where we can add or edit or delete any groups that we have. So they're broken up by company, just like employees are. So our ABC company, I have a certain amount of employees in there, but if we were to change to test company or BCD company or anything like that, the employees would change, and that's kind of the pool we have to work with to create these groups. So we'll stay in ABC company for now to keep it simple, and we'll create a new one. We'll call this techs, and these are our technicians. I think that's how you spell technician. And here we can choose which employees we want. So we'll say John and Fred. These are our techs. And then once that's done, you can just click OK, and it's created. Now there are some other options we can choose in here, such as the associations. So let's go ahead and create a new group. We'll call this admins. And then we can add Amy. Group name already exists. I must already have that. We'll create administrators. We'll add Amy and Dave, and then go to the Associations tab. And here we can choose this group to be associated with a specific department, location, or crib. So those are the kind of three options we have there. So we'll say location, this company that we're working in. If you ever forget, you can always check up here. And then the rule is you can either have it be an exact match, it starts with something, or it contains that. So we'll say the administrators, we want to associate them with any office. So we'll say office is our rule here. So any location that contains the word office will now be associated with administrators. And where that comes into play usually is going to be in your workflow config. So here we have our return to customer, and we have a packing slip, and we want to set up an email rule. Now you've probably seen this before when setting up your email. You'll see these employee groups for your destination. So of course we've got specific email, specific employee, but here down here we have these groups. So we can either choose a specific group like this, and that'll let us choose our company and then any of the groups that we just created. We can choose an employee group associated with a specific location. So we'll do that. And then we'll say it's our ABC company again. And our location will be main. We'll keep it all caps. Main office. So what this does is whenever we finish this event, it will email anyone that has an association with main office. And since we created our employee group and added the association for any location that contains the word office, it will include this. Now we can also set up a second group. So we'll say account managers. And then we'll make Arnie and Marconi the account managers. And then we associate them with this location here. There we go, exactly main office. So now, whenever we finish that rule, it will go for both the account managers and the administrator groups. But if we were to change this to alternative office, for example, just any other name, it will now only be going to your administrators because the account managers are set up to be exactly the main office. So it's kind of a way to link and dynamically include multiple groups and different scenarios and kind of set it up so that you don't have to set up who you're emailing every time. You kind of had it automatically send out. Now, the other place that employee groups come into play is in the alarm management here, or excuse me, one of the other places. There are a few others, such as the order system and the work scheduling, where you can set different employee groups to be in charge of certain work orders. We'll get into that in just a minute, though. So we'll start this with a new alarm. Just keep it simple. Something like that. Include email. So again here, the emails are how we want to choose our employee groups. So we go to our group, make sure we're in the right company, and then we can send just like this. Now here we can't get the associations like we do in the workflow config, but it's still a good way for you to set up alarms with groups of employees. So now whenever you want, to add someone to the email list, you just add them to the group and you don't have to go and change every single alarm. So that's kind of the beauty of this. If you have 50 alarms that are running and 25 of them are going to your admins, you don't want to go back in here and have to add a new email every time you have a new system administrator. You can just create them as an employee, add them to the administrator group, and then it will automatically start sending it to them after you make those changes. So like I referenced earlier, let's check out the order system here. This will be the last thing that we do. These work orders, you can schedule employees to work on them, or you can schedule entire employee groups. So I kind of spoiled it by having it already up here, but normally when you schedule employees, you go into your company, pick whoever, and that's all right. But maybe you're not super specific on who you want to do the work. You say, well, I've got people in lab 20. I've got 4 guys in there. I have an employee group called lab 20. As long as one of them handles it, I don't care who it is. So you would go and you have your lab 20 created. So let's go ahead and do that for the sake of showing it here. We'll say lab number 20. We add Arnie, Dave, Fred. These are our guys. Now we can assign that as the employee group. And now that will show up for anyone that's in that employee group for their work scheduled. So then they can either handle it amongst themselves, who wants to take care of it, or if there's some sort of rotation that they know, the work will get done either way. So that's kind of the way you can use employee groups to streamline and kind of cut down on future work for your system, whether you're sending emails or assigning work to your employees.